Hello everyone and welcome to another high-elo game of Age of Empires. Today, Theodoric has defeated Odoacer in Verona, and with northern Italy firmly in his grasp, now marches towards Ravenna as Dogao, playing as the Goths in blue, gets ready to take on ACCM, playing as the Italians in red. Now all the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP. Why don't we take a look at the Civ matchup we'll be watching today. Now, the Goths are a civilization we've seen a lot of recently, and a civilization that is about as single-minded as a Civ can get in Age of Empires, pushing its players towards one military structure. I'm, of course, referring to the barracks. The Gothic barracks starts the game working 20% faster, can be upgraded to work more than 200% faster, which does allow them to spam their infantry, which is great because the Goths in Imperial Age do get 10 extra population space, so they cap out at 210 compared to the usual 200. Now, all Gothic infantry get progressively cheaper as the game goes on, all the way up to Imperial when they're 35% cheaper, and those very same Gothic infantry units get a progressive attack bonus against buildings, which does make them pretty damn good at taking down castles and other structures in the late game, which might be problematic for our Italian. And the Goth barracks itself can also be upgraded to train the unique unit of the Goths, the Huskarl, and a pretty decent infantry unit with one important set of skills, and that is killing archers. Huskarls come with a big attack bonus against archers and base pierce armor that makes them basically immune from most archer fire. Silly bamboo getting in the way of this pretty good Ibex push so far. Now, to support a big hungry population, Goth hunters are stronger, they carry more, and their hunt lasts 20% longer, and they also get loom in just under a second. Blink and you'll miss it, like I did at the top left of our screen here when Dogao got loom. I see he's down 50 gold. I see his villagers have the improved stats. It does allow the Goths to train one extra villager because every other civilization, I should say most other civilizations, if not all actually, they get loom in 25 seconds compared to the sub 1 second of the Goths. Now, speaking of the other civilizations, we've got the Italians, a pretty much cost-cutting civilization. Their university technologies are cheaper, advancing to the next age is cheaper, and their gunpowder units are also, you got it, cheaper. Now, using all of these saved resources, the Italians can field two unique units. The first is the Genoese crossbowman, a pretty decent foot archer with a good attack bonus against cavalry, so perhaps not one that I'm expecting to see in this game. And the second is the Condottiero, a quick-moving tanky infantry unit with not only a massive attack bonus against gunpowder units, but also added bonus armor against certain types of gunpowder units. Now, to make these two unique units even tankier on the battlefield, all Italian foot archers except for skirmishers and their Condottieri can be upgraded to get an extra +1/+1 armor. And starting in Imperial Age, Condottieri can be trained out of the Italian barracks. Unlike the Goths, they don't need a special unique technology for that. In the case of the Goths, I'm referring to Anarchy, which does allow them to train Huskarls out of the barracks. Once you hit Imperial, as the Italians, spam the Condottieri out of your barracks as much as you frickin' want. And by the way, this is going to be a pretty interesting matchup because both of these civilizations have hand cannoneers. The Italians, theirs are 20% cheaper, but they also have both of them have hand cannoneer sniping units. Now, I might be getting very much ahead of myself as we are not even out of Dark Age just yet. But if we do get to see hand cannoneers, you've got on the one hand the Condottieri who come with special armor against them and a massive +10 attack bonus. But then speaking of +10 attack bonuses, I believe the Huskarl also comes with a pretty decent attack bonus against gunpowder or hand cannoneers, which are technically archer units. So a very interesting, not exactly a mirror matchup, but both players can spam their unique unit out of their barracks, and both of these civilizations are very much bipedal focused. And so we'll see how the game progresses as now both players finally heading up to the next stage. Our Goth 3 villagers ahead of his opponent. Let's take a look at their settlements as Dogao, maybe? Will he go north? Will he go south? What do the gamblers say? Oh, he goes north. Okay, so he does discover this Italian settlement. Primary gold for our Italian, a little bit off to the side. Primary stone nice and secure in the back. Additional gold off to the back and off to the front, and additional stone in the front. So not a terrible base. Might want to secure this gold with a bit of a wall off here. Does have 1, 2, 3 forests in a triangle shape, and a bit of a long schlong forest here to the back that he can mine or jack if he comes under any kind of attack from our Goth, who is already moving out with 3 militias. Who, by the way, 3 little militias from school we are seen immediately by the Italian, and the second he sees them, he is going to start preparing the wall. Yeah, there you go. 1 villager on gold walling himself in. Now you're wondering, why the hell is there just 1 villager on gold when the standard is 2? Remember, the Italians, it's cheaper for them to go up to the next age, so they need 170 gold instead of 200 to go up to Castle Age. Ooh, I want to take a look at the Gothic base, but I also want to look at this little battle developing here, because I have a feeling someone's about to die here. And of course, now that I say that, the players absolutely diffuse like a fart in a room, and no one is at risk of any kind of death. But I'll keep an eye on the minimap. Let's take a very quick look at our Gothic base. No, I wanted to look at the Goths base. And of course, they immediately reconverge on each other. So you got a bit of a chase going on here. DeGao's scout leading this spearman. Might want to pivot north so the spearman... Okay, there we go. So the spearman moves towards these men-at-arms. But now there's 2 archers out. Wall-off, very aggressive wall-off here in the face of an approaching army that, FYI, has just breached the base. Whenever this dies down, we'll take a look at the Gothic base. I do apologize. Uh-oh. 2 extra villagers are unprotected here. Man, this is like the Arnold Schwarzenegger spearman. He took about 19 shots to finally go down. And we've got first blood going to our red Italian. No, what am I talking? Not our red Italian. My goodness, our blue Goth, who guns down a villager but loses half his army in the process. A scout and a man-at-arms. Man-at-arms or man-at-arm? Man-at-arms. Yeah, sorry about that. Man, was that a confusing thing to learn? Brother-in-law, brothers-in-law, not brother-in-laws. And anyway, it looks like our Goth is heading home right as an Italian scout finally, I want to say, discovers the location of the Gothic settlement. Primary gold nice and secure in the back. Stone exposed to the front, unknowingly placed on the downslope of a hill. We've got additional stone to the side, additional gold to the front. And where's his third pile of gold? I think I just saw it. Oh, man, the color of the grass here, this dry, dead grass makes the gold much harder to see. Okay, it looks like there was some potential battle scuffle here. No, never mind. The HP is pretty damn hale on all of them. Forests, 1, 2, 3 in the top corners and the bottom. So a nice triangle shaped base here. If our Goth DeGao wants to wall this off, and it kind of looks like he does, probably a few palisades or houses are going to extend this way as he extends to the bottom. So he's carving himself a bottom right. I was about to say he's carving himself out a pretty big chunk of the map. Is our Goth. And he is spending a good amount of resources walling himself in as he moves in now with 10 army supply to 70. He is ahead 1 villager. So our Italian doing a good job catching up on the villager lead. And I say that now he's down to 2, but 2 is still better than 3. The dead villager here for red. I mean, it's even more impressive when you remember that our Goth did manage to snipe a villager. So he technically should be... Sorry, I lost my train of thought as the action starts happening. Speaking of dead villagers, are we going to get to see any? No, a spearman. Never mind, right as I say no, of course, 1 does die. So 3 dead Italian villagers now are littering the battlefield as our Goth just refuses to leave. But you know what? Our Italian's army count is not terrible. 7 archers. If he can close in on these skirmishers and deal with them, I mean, taking HP losses like that for no reason is not great. And throwing in a few extra scouts is also pretty damn good, although fighting the men-at-arms with them, not great. Okay, and I think that's all she wrote for the Gothic army. I think they need to get the hell out of here, even though one of these scouts is basically dead. 2 full health scouts. This is 110 HP to 120. But the Italian has got speed. He's going to close in. Oh, never mind. We've got a whole bunch of reinforcements here. He does pick off the weaker one. Always so impressed with the high elo players, their ability to pick off the weaker units. Where the hell did this red scout come from? Is another one. Let's see it. Let's see it. Oh, you can just feel it in the air. Our Italian ACCM wants to close on this army so badly. He just wants to crash into it. with his scouts, but 2 spearmen are basically going to negate all of his aggression because our Goth has essentially built the perfect counter army. Skirmishers for archers, spearmen for scouts. So our Italian, what's he doing? He's going for quantity. Unfortunately for him, the quantity is identical, 14 army supply to 14, and now he's down 4 villagers. So the Gothic kills are starting to mount up. The economic pain that is being felt by our Italian is starting to grow. And speaking of cutting off big chunks of the map, which I mentioned a few minutes ago for our Goth, take a look at your mini-map. It looks like our Italian wants to carve out a huge chunk of the map. I mean, he still needs to wall off a bunch of this. Okay, he's using houses here as well. Is this closed? I mean, your guess is as good as mine if this is closed. It looks closed. But now our Italian is putting the pressure firmly on the Goth as both of them sit at around 400 food. Not enough gold for either one of them. Even with the Italian discount, still needs 100 gold. He spent his gold training archers galore. And I'm not too sure what he is going to accomplish here with a few scouts, even though they attack on a 5. These buildings, I guess they, one interesting thing about houses, FYI, they come with negative melee armor in huge negative melee armor in Dark Age, and then also negative melee armor in Imperial. I'm so sorry. In Feudal, which does make taking them down easier, because when you take -1 and you subtract 5 from that, you actually get -6. So 6 damage to these houses. Now, I think that's the only structure that has negative. I think it's just the house, right? Yeah, the archery ranges, the military buildings, obviously the town center. They all have normal melee armor, but the houses are the only ones that come with negative melee armor, which makes them a little bit of a risky venture when it comes to walling off with them. But their extra HP 750 compared to the usual palisade of 250 still makes them the better unit to wall off with. What happened here? Bit of a tiger attack. So with Loom, our Italian survives to tell the tale, rather. Both players heading up to the Castle Age. It looks like our Italian is about 10 seconds ahead of his opponent as he now pivots to the right. Man, oh man, our Italian is being very mobile. First he tried to attack here, then he tried to attack here. Now he's trying to attack over here. Where next? ACCM as a second archery range. He's not going to see this archery range. Yeah, it's here in the ether. Even I think if he closes in on some of these houses, maybe not, maybe here. If he closes in here, he'll be able to see it. But this is a closed Gothic base. And so our Italian with the 20 to 21 army supply, he's now down 5 villagers. Might want to split up his army, to be honest. A few scouts here to the left. The archers taking down a palisade or 2. Whoa, 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 whoa. Did ACCM see that? This is not walled in. He just deleted his palisade. Did ACCM see that? Now would be a good opportunity if you spent the last 10 minutes trying to bust into your opponent's base. And maybe I got a little bit too excited there for no reason. I do apologize for whoa-whoa-whoaing you to death. These archers are going to be crossbows for both sides. Botkin for both sides. All armor upgrades for both sides identical as red. Okay, so he has seen the blue army positioned here next to the quarry. And he says, good idea. I kind of want to penetrate this base a little bit. Let's see how it looks like on the inside as our Goth starts placing down an extra town center to the west, an extra town center to the south. And he's trying to get the first villager kill of his own. Let's see if he can. No, he loses a scout instead, but 3 crossbows in exchange for a scout is a pretty good trade. ACCM is on the high ground, which is a fantastic place for him to be. And our Goth is still training crossbows, not skirmishers. Interesting. I mean, he does have 6 skirmishers. They are here. Oh my goodness, my clicking skills. Going for the crossbows does allow him to negate this cavalry force much, much easier. 2 scouts, 3 scouts, 4 scouts. Dunzo. And now I would be shocked if our Italian continued here. He needs to get the hell out of here. What are these red dots streaming across the map? He's bringing a mangonel. It may not move fast. It may not look great. It may not feel fantastic after the long, arduous journey from this siege workshop to the Gothic base, but man, oh man, can it pack a punch against these crossbows. But look at this. How did our Goth know? I highly recommend, by the way, Hera made a video recently giving 5 tips on how to defend your settlement. And one of the tips is to match your opponent's output in terms of resources. So if you see a mangonel and you know they've got a siege workshop to do it, to train it, make your own and make a mangonel of your own. You know, you don't have to know exactly how many resources every single unit costs. Hey, you probably should if you want to reach hero level gameplay and success in Age of Empires, but that'll come in time. I don't think even casters know every single cost, etc. of units and technology and all that stuff. But anyway, the point I was trying to make, as we've got mutually assured destruction here, is one of Hera's defensive points of how best to protect your base against this kind of aggression is match your opponent's output in terms of resources. That way your army is never smaller, or it's that you've never invested too much making it bigger. Oh, goodness. Tony the Tiger gets irate. He did not have his frosted flakes this morning. He is not feeling great. He's feeling shit because he's got a bunch of skirmishers in his hunting ground as yet another Gothic mangonel bites the dust. But where is the villager here from our Italian to help repair this? At least send one villager forward. I mean, this Tiger is unrelenting. Remember, the Tiger, in theory, should be able to kill that group of skirmishers pretty easily if he picks them off one by one, because they have a minimum range. And so they can't kill the Tiger unless they all turn around, or most of them turn around and fire at him. A very unfortunate location for these two mangonels for our Italian, because with the high ground advantage, this... Ooh, you got to be careful. This archery range is going to take a pounding. What's happening over here? We've got some crossbows. Okay, so they're taking on the... Oh, is the Tiger going to get a kill? Oh, is the Tiger going to get a kill? Okay, they circumnavigated. No, he dies instead. So these blue skirmishers went on a jolly little adventure all the way around here, perhaps trying to penetrate into the red base, but instead they just did a big old loop-de-loop, showed up, killed two crossbows, and are now kind of just hanging out. Finally, a villager moves forward. I'm assuming he was repairing that mangonel. I don't really see any dead mangonel bits here, but with the high ground, this one should take a good pounding as a knight moves forward. Didn't really need the knight at the end of the day, and I think he injured his knight more than anything else with that mangonel shot. But in comes the villager. I love the inclusion of the one villager here. Okay, knight. Mangonel on the high ground can take a hit without dying because of that high ground advantage. And so ACCM is just going to park himself here for as long as he can. Ooh, I don't know about the placement of this castle. It looks like these skirmishers finally got by these crossbows. 18 of them have 11 kills, 12 kills, 13 kills. They are racking up the villager kills. I was about to say, I'm not too sure about the location of this castle for our Goth. You're giving up the high ground here, where I'm highlighting with this rectangular bar, or whatever the hell you call it, space of inclusion. I don't know what the hell. And now he's training the Huskarl. Two Huskarls against this will accomplish nothing, but if he trains more, they will very much overwhelm this Italian army, which again has planted itself on the high ground, repairing mangonels, building houses. I mean, it's amazing that he's started 3 houses and hasn't finished. He's starting a 4th, because why the hell not? You have 3 incomplete houses. Why not start a 4th? I think ACCM needs to pick a structure. Are you going to take the barracks or the archery range down? All you're doing right now is giving your opponent time to get out more and more Huskarls. He's going up to 6 of them. And remember, they're going to come with a base, I want to say 6 pierce armor. So against a crossbow that attacks on an 8, no, sorry, a 7, my bad, a 7, 6 pierce armor is going to be pretty damn good. And here we go, eyeballs. I mean, he's seen the castle with that mangonel that was there, the knight that was there before. Ooh, the outpost doesn't even reach. Does he have? It doesn't look like he's got town watch, our Italian, right? This doesn't seem very town watchy. The line of sight. Oh, picking the worst place to build the outpost, and the villager dies before he can finish. Look at the completion. 20 HP away, 2% away from completing that 3rd house, as more and more knights pop out. And now these guys are on the hunt over here. These guys are on the hunt over here. This is the, by the way, the high quality casting that you guys have come to expect when I just point at the map and go, these guys, without being too specific. The Huskarls, though, enter into the ether, into the fog of war. I don't know if Red noticed that. Whether or not they're heading straight for what? For the crossbows or for the knights? They don't know either. Oh, they're engaging not. It looks like, oh, it looks like the guy wanted to sandwich ACCM's forces here with crossbows to the north and Huskarls to the south. But now, okay, he's taking the high ground. So he's learned his lesson, has our blue Goth. Look at all the infrastructure that our Italian has cleared up, by the way. Was I right about the 6 pierce armor? Yeah, so with the armor, it is 8 pierce armor against the unit that attacks on a 7. And because there's no bonus, you can't have a 0 attack, which means these crossbows do 1 damage to the Huskarl. But you know who doesn't do 1 damage to the Huskarl? This bad boy on the horse, who is now chasing these crossbows all the way over here. They are going to discover perhaps the town center. Where are the villagers to build this? Okay, not too sure where these villagers are. As a battle, it doesn't really matter. There's not a single crossbow left to discover this town center. I still don't know where the villagers are to build this. Oh my god. Oh my god. At this point, just delete the house. Well, that is a long... I've been very... What's the word I'm looking for? I've been having a lot of fun with saying the games have themes now. The theme of this game is going the long frickin' way. A knight is shooed away by the monk. Okay, Red is bringing his forces back, but holy moly, our Goth is getting ready to go up to Imperial, a minute and a half away. And once he gets that, let's see if he gets Anarchy, which will allow him to train the Huskarls out of that barracks. Although I shouldn't say if he goes up to Imperial. That is a Castle Age upgrade, and not an expensive one, possibly one that I've already missed. If he already has the barracks here on the right side. It looks like these knights are going to try to get something done here, but a bunch of Huskarls and a random Feudal Age Spearman with 1 kill, okay, are going to try to stop this. The knights are getting a good amount of kills, though. ACCM says you killed 3 of my villagers in the beginning of the game. How about I kill 14 of yours? But his knights finally get cleared up just in time for a bunch of light cav to show up. And now our Italians also heading up to Imperial. Barracks galore. Oh my god. Have we seen on this channel Condottieri taking on Huskarls? I don't know. I don't think we have. I mean, I don't know if we're going to, but I certainly would be pretty damn excited. And as you can tell, and now this is a town watch outpost. Maybe even patrol. Why are these guys moving so slowly? Does he not have no, he's got husbandry. Why were they moving like molasses in January? Huskarls close in on this army. They should be able to wreck this as long as the knights get taken out first. No, the knights pull off a bunch of Huskarls. Oh man, do they kill. +6 against archers, so not the +10 that I thought it was. Our Italian is a minute away from being able to spam Condottieri out of these barracks. But okay, so he obviously did get Anarchy, because I'm looking at a Huskarl being trained out of a barracks. And that is exactly what that upgrade does. More villagers. 32 killed by our Italian. Make it 33. No, 33. Why did you stop attacking her? Oh, I think that knight wanted it all. He wanted his cake and to eat it too. And looks like our Goth and our Italian, you guys know I love when this happens. They have the same mentality, put the castle on the high ground, but now 34 kills have become 38 dead villagers. 38, 42 Huskarls. There's Pavice. Remember, that adds armor not only to their foot archers, not including skirmishers. Poor skirmishers. I mean, unless you're a Mezzo Civ, poor skirmishers. They're always left out. They're like me in elementary school, always picked last for teams because I was shorter than everyone else. But the Condottieri is out. He's resting his sword. Probably not the wisest thing to do, to rest an unsheathed sword on your shoulder there. And let's see it. Not exactly the big engagement I wanted, but I'll take it. Condottiero takes out the Huskarl. Let's compare the stats because I feel like the Condottiero is probably better in most respects. Their attack might be the same, actually. I think it's a base of 10 for both, right? Yeah. These are an elite Huskarls. Our Goth is supply blocked rather, at 165. Not too far behind his Italian brother here, but oh mama. This is a lot of Huskarls. 55 army supply to 20. The first Treb of the game being popped out for our Italian. And I believe these Trebs are on the high ground. And I believe this Treb needs to unpack and start firing its big old rocky balls at that Gothic castle as the Huskarls. Remember, they get a progressive attack bonus against buildings. So now they're at a +5 because we're in Imperial. And so even without Arson adding +2, in Imperial they get the, I think, +3 for free. And I believe they come with a natural building bonus. But we're gearing up for we're actually gearing up for some infantry battle here. So let's take, okay, hello, wake up. Let's take a look at these two units side by side at the bottom left of our screen. Base attack of a 10. 0 melee armor for the Huskarl base, 1 base for the Condottiero, who also moves a lot faster, about 10% faster, 15 maybe percent faster than his opposing Huskarl. 20 more HP though is going to be very problematic. These Huskarls need to go elite. He's instead going champions. Okay. Okay. Right now you're going champions? You've got, okay, I mean, he does have 15 double two-fisted swordsmen there, but now he's got champions. The castle is down. The Huskarls engaged. Somebody here has the high ground. I'm not too sure who. This grass is very hard to see, especially, I mean, this battle is really hard to see, especially with the rubble from the castle, but it looks like the Condottiero is mopping the floor with the Huskarl. The Huskarl is gone. There are no more Huskarls. And now there's barely any champions left. What an absolute disaster. Holy moly, the Huskarls do manage to penetrate the northwest of the Italian settlement. Looks like the champions are going to try to get some villager kills. It looks like 3 villager kills. But what the hell do you do? The Condottiero, I mean, we need to see that again. What the hell happened there? I for sure thought the Condottiero with the extra HP, I mean, attack stats, attack speed is going to be important. I'm assuming it's going to be 2 second. No, they also attack faster. 1.9 second delay compared to usual 2. And usually attack stats are very important. For example, the Huskarl here doesn't have Blast Furnace, still 1 minute 32 seconds away. Our Italian choosing the perfect time to force the engagement. He's at 200 population. He's capped out. Why the hell wouldn't he? He's got 10 Condottieri in the production tab. He's capped out. He's got a good amount of resources left. He's got 22 villagers on gold. Oh, there's also Huskarls here, but they're under fire from a castle and a town center. So tanky as they are, armored as they are, eventually they will fall. But 20 extra HP when you're talking about infantry is a huge deal. So naturally, I thought this would very much go in favor of our Italian. Let's get rid of the villager. Let's get rid of the Treb. So what are we working here with this Armageddon battle? 33 Condottieri, rather, 34 Huskarls, and 8 champions. So 42 Gothic infantry units to 33. So about a 30% bigger army. Now, look at the HP. Not exactly. I mean, fully, if they were both fully healthy, the Italian would still have more with fewer units. That just shows you the difference, why HP is so important here. And lastly, one thing I will point out, our Italian armor +4. So he's at 5 melee armor against the 2. So not only does he attack on a 14 compared to a 12, because again, our Goth is missing Blast Furnace, not only does he do 2 more damage, but he takes 5 compared to 2, 3 less damage per shot, which is crazy when you have 20 more HP. But again, let's see what happens here. And I think this is a hill. I can't really be sure. Yeah, you know what? Look at the curved line here. It looks like there's a bit of a hump to the north of these Condottieri. So even though this, oh, it's so annoying. The rubble from the castle is mixing in with the silver of the Huskarl's armor to make it a little bit more difficult to see. But anyway, let's see what ends up happening. Okay, the Condottieri get on the high ground. They're both on the high ground, so nobody's really got any advantage. They engage. They spread out, both of them on the low ground here to the right, to the left. I mean, there's champions mixed in as well here. More Huskarl reinforcements, not a lot. Okay, never mind. They're not even reinforcing. They're just going straight into death right in front of that castle. And seconds into the battle. I mean, look at the numbers. Seconds into the battle. Only 7 dead condottieri compared to 22 dead infantry units. So literally 3 times the kills. Now, I'm looking at the health bars. A lot of these condottieri are weak as shit. But on the right, there's a lot of healthy ones. On the left, there's a lot of healthy ones. The center looks like it's been broken by the Goth with these champions. Yeah, the center did fall, but the wings go to our Italian, and then he can just collapse wherever the hell he wants. And wow, the Condottiero proving himself to be the better unit here. Swarms over all of the infantry, and ultimately our Goth, the raiding over here, accomplished, I guess, not much because he lost the game, but 11 dead villagers to 47. Our Italian, after sustaining 3 dead villagers here in the beginning of the game, roared back into action, and literally 47 dead villagers. DogAO down to 120, which is still a respectable amount for the Goths. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, the Goths, I would say maybe 135 to 140, but 120 is not bad at all, especially if you're not population capped just yet. The problem for our Goth, you're fighting a stronger unit and you've diffused your army. I mean, look at this. There's 5 infantry units here. There's 2 infantry units here. We saw the 2 or 3 Huskarls over here. Actually, there's 3 units here. So 3, 8, and either 10 or 11. So 10 extra infantry units. I don't know. Would they have made that big of a difference? I think what really made the big difference is the fact that these Huskarls are not elite, number 1, and they're missing Blast Furnace. Wow. What an absolute epic last battle there. 72 Huskarls, 48 Condottiero. I guess we know who wins this battle. Peak APM, middle of the game. Peak APM. Oh, ACCM pulling a Mr. Yo right at the very beginning of the game, clicking furiously, queuing villagers, moving geese around. Economy's not too crazy of a difference at all. It looks like our Goth did manage to get 2 relics, but it looks like right towards the end of the game, a little bit more of everything for our Italian, which, again, with their discounted going up in age, does add up. If you are facing a civilization that has discounts on shit, you don't want to have them ahead in resources at all. Oh, I forgot to look at, no, not economy. Buildings raised. 25 buildings destroyed by our Italian, 8 by our Goth. And wow, oh wow, that was a fun, again, I think a first on Cast of Empires, seeing Condottieri take on Huskarls. Look at this guy. This guy just turned tail and run. Why the hell not? There's literally 5 men chasing him. 3 of them have their swords ready to whack him down. And holy moly, the Condottiero, just such a fun unit. I'm glad he got Pavice as well, by the way. Remember, that adds the +1/+1 armor to them, which is why they're at a +4/+5 and not a +3/+4, like a capped out infantry should be, except for the Goths, who are missing, what is it, plate? Yeah, plate mail armor. I always forget the names of the last upgrades for almost all of them, except, I should say, the last armor upgrades. I always forget the names. The Bracer and Blast Furnace, I know. Those are burned into my brain. The other ones, that's why this Capture Age is fantastic. You can just hover your mouse over it. But in any event, 174 kills to 115. The numbers, I mean, they matter, but what really matters is this absolute epic last clash, this titanic battle where our Italian Condottieri proved victorious. And with that unit, ACCM takes the game, but GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.